Dozens of climate scientists are rejecting a recent report published by the U.S. Energy Department. At least 85 experts, 85, just released their response. They say the report, titled Greenhouse Gas Emissions Impact on U.S. Climate, is not scientifically credible. The report claims the carbon dioxide-induced warming appears less damaging economically than it believed. It also claims that the frequency and intensity of hurricanes, floods, and other extreme weather events are, quote, not supported by historical data. I want to bring in CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter to talk more about this. All right, David, break down what the climatologists are saying is wrong with the DOE report and explain why it matters.
Hey, Vlad, good morning. So let's start with why it matters. It's because the administration is using that Department of Energy report as its basis to dismantle the government's authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions, which are warming our planet. In fact, the Secretary of Energy, a former energy industry executive, has been downplaying the threat that climate change represents to the Americans' safety and security and health. Today's new report that you just mentioned from those 85 concerned climate scientists concludes, in an effort to minimize the threats of warming planet, our government is sidestepping the negative impacts of climate change. It's misquoting international reports. It's using incorrect definitions and oversimplifying and mixing up study results. Basically, they say the science here is quite shoddy.
So, David, does the report live up to what the scientific standards of other prominent climate research say, for example, for reports from the United Nations and others?
I mean, the short answer here is no from these 85 climate scientists. Major reports like the ones from the UN, those could take hundreds of scientists years to complete, and they debate every aspect of their work in public. The work is then peer-reviewed by outside experts. By contrast, the Department of Energy report, which we're all talking about now, was written by 5 scientists hand-selected by the government. They wrote the report in just a few weeks. There was no public scrutiny or any outside peer review of their work.
All right, so how are different groups pushing back against these types of reports from the federal government?
There are, the environmental groups are suing the government over the Department of Energy report. The American Meteorological Society has also generated its own critical report that challenges the findings of the Department of Energy. These groups and other ones are trying to move as fast as they can because there's this 30-day window for public comment before the government moves forward with its decision to cease regulating greenhouse gas emissions. So there's some time pressure here to get these criticisms in. Whether they'll make a difference in the government's final reading of what they want to do is unclear at the moment.
Wow. All right. David Schechter, thank you very much.